The 11th of January, Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura.
There's people sometimes, if they stayed up all night, they had a question at whether or not they should say Birkas Torah. So if they Machabin Ba'avarabba, that counts as Birkas Torah. So here also, when he says the Birkas on the Torah itself, no worse than saying than being Yotzi with Avarab. Okay.
Okay, Mishnah Berura, Lamed Aleph.
Sure.
He's already been potter by saying the bracha Asher Baruch Banu. The Yatsa b'Masha Baruch ala Torah bracha zu. He does with what he says in that when he says that bracha when he's the bracha for the Torah. The logara mimi sheniftar is not worse than Rava. It's explained above the Simon Mem Zion Sif Zion. Because the Achronim right, Mikol Makom Lo Dami Legamre Leniftar Barava the Hasam Yatsa Bezeg Gam Bibirchas Asher Kichon Mitzav Zivon Lasok Vigam Haravna Mashain Kain Hacha Lo Niftar Rak Bibirchas Asher Barchabon Levad. Aval idach tzarich lastly, the other brachas he has to say. V'omer acher kach birchas kohanim sheregilin lomer tamid. Not quite sure what we just said.
Okay, so again, so it said the first point was that it's going to be Yotzi with, as the Mechaber said, the Berka is Yotzi with no worse than saying Avarab. But the Yotzi b'Masha Baruch al Torah, by saying the bracha on the Torah, bracha zu, right? Below Gora, one say is the Stam Yotzi b'Masha Baruch Asher Kedushanim B'Tzitzah last soak, right? Because when by saying the Asher Baruch Rabano, so that's also Kolel, it's including that which is included in the bracha Shekasham Lasok B'Divrei Torah. V'gam la'arev no, it's also included in what he's saying the bracha on the Torah in that as well. Mashe'en Hakalo Niftar Rak B'Bracha. That excuse me, let me clarify. The bracha of Avarabba is Kolel, the things which you mentioned in the bracha. Birkas Torah, Noah, and a Shekasham Mitzvah Sok B'Divrei Torah. Now, Shein Kein Chocha by here, by the Birkas Torah, he wants to be Yotzi with the Birkas Torah, in contrast to being Yotzi with the Bracha of Avarabba. Lo Niftar Rak B'Bracha Sheh Bracha Banu Levad. The only bracha he's being Yotzi with by saying Birkas Torah is the Bracha of Sheh Bracha Banu Levad. Our Idach, right? The other brachas, Sorach Hashlim, the Yomer Achikak brachas, Kohanim, Tami. He has to say the other bracha, right? He has to say the brachas Kohanim, which the Sukim for the brachas Kohanim, like he usually says as well, right? So therefore, if a person is going to get an Aliyah and he has not yet said Birkas Torah, right? So when he makes that first bracha, he's going to make all the brachas on the Birkas Torah, right? So the question is, what does he do afterwards? The Birkas Torah, right? So when he gets up there and he says the Asher b'Chabanim Mikol Amim Nasana Torah, Bracha Hashem Noseina Torah. That's the first bracha, right? So that's like the bracha of that is also included in the bracha of Avarabba, and then also he has the Hashem, the second, the after bracha Hashem Nasam Torah Semes Peilon Dadu Vaseinu Bracha Hashem Noteina Torah. So that's also going to be all of the things which are included in the bracha of Avarabba. So that's inclusive of the first bracha or the first two brachas, depending how you count it, of the Birkas Torah that he normally says in the morning. Meaning he normally says the bracha, right? And Arev no, right? So he says Halomei Torah Amo Yisrael. So he's Yotzi with that. But the bracha Asher Bachar Bana Mikol Amim and Asanoes Torah, right? no say not Torah. So so that the Mr. Burr says you're not Yotzi, but I just don't understand because that seems to be very much included in the bracha that he said on the Torah, no? But here he's only going to be Yotzi Asher Baruch Rabanu Levad, meaning the last of the brachas, meaning brachas. You have three brachas, or two and a half. You have two and a half, at least, maybe three brachas, right? There's a machlokus when we say brachas of Torah. Are we saying two brachas, two and a half brachas, or three brachas? What's the choice? You have that could be one bracha entirely. Then you have a harev no, could be a bracha entirely by itself, or that could be a half a bracha. So you have one and a half, or it could be a bracha all by itself, right? And then you have the final bracha. You have Asher Baruch Rabbanim Mikol Amim, right?
Right.
So the Birkas Torah, what the Mishna is bringing down here, the Birkas Torah is only going to be motzi you in the bracha of Asher Baruch Rabbanim, the last of the Birkas Torah that you normally say in the morning. So they say, the Mishna is saying that you have to go back and say the first two brachas. You have to go back and say so in our Rav, no, you have to go back and say those two brachas, and then afterwards say the psukim of Birkas Kohen.
Mm-hmm.
Is that clear, Eliezer, to you now?
Yep.
Good. Okay.
Okay. Birkas Achrona, back in the Shulchan Aruch. Birkas Achrona, Asher Notzon Lono Toras Emes, Zu Torah V'Kasav, V'Chaya Olam Lo Not V'Sochenu, Hu Torah Shabbat Peh. Those are referred to the two Torahs. Mishabur V'Chaya Olam, Umin Hagenu Lomer V'Chaya Olam, V'Chaya Olam. What's he coming to add?
No, it's with is it ha'olam or olam? Chai olam or chai olam?
Okay, gotcha.
So what's that? So what do we? Let's take a look. What do we see in this? What's in the siddur here? What's in the siddur? I have in mind chai olam without the hay. 1 second, let me check my.
That's what he says the minhag is.
Yeah. Let me just check one more city here. Okay, right. Chai olam, right? Without the hay. Right.
Without the hay.
Without the hay. Very good. The mechaber has a ha with the hay. Have to see what the I have to look in a Svardish siddur to see what the Svardim have. Right. Let's continue on.
Okay. Nota b'sochenu who al shem hakasa the divrei chachamim kidarbonos umashmoros netuim.
I'm just okay. I'm just looking at this a digital copy of a Svardish siddur. They have also high olam without the hay, according to this version I have here. Okay, there it is without a hay. Okay, excuse me. Go ahead again. Sorry, Switzer.
Lamed, I'm not sure what Lamed is saying at all.
Okay, so Lamed Nota Basochenu, Lamed Hey.
Lamed Dalet.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, Nota Basochenu. Ayin Sham Hakosev Divri Chachamim Ki Dervonos Umishmoras Natuas. Al Shame. It's based on the pasuk. It's based on the Chazal or the Gemara. It says what's the Tabas Ochenu Hu Torah Shabal Peh. He's explained why is it Chai B'Sochenu? It's based on the on that pasuk. Let's see here. 1 minute. Text. There's a Gemara. I'll see if I can't quote it to you. There's a Gemara. I think if it's in Makos. Right. See, meaning again, the pasuk is Dibri Chachamim are Kerdarvonos Umishmoros Netuyim. Netuyim. You see that last word, Netuyim?
Yep.
They're implanted. They're planted or implanted. So that's why Nata, the Russian, the expression of the pasuk is Chai Oilam Nata Basochenu. That's referring to Torah Shabbat Peh. So the Mishna Berura is explaining this is based on the pasuk, right? That it says the Dibri Chachamim are Kerdarvonos Umishmoros Netuyim.
Okay, so this is just explaining why these phrases refer to Tosha B'Ksav, Tosha Bal Peh.
Right. It's based. It's a pasuk in Koheles. Excuse me, pasuk in Koheles, right? The pasuk in Koheles, and this the Gemara Darshan. The Gemara Darshan this pasuk as they do many psukim. Okay, Koheles, Perek Yud Beis, pasuk Yud Aleph, Yud Beis Yud Aleph, Yud Beis Yud Aleph. Okay. Okay, so it says the Divrei Chachamim, meaning the words of the Chachamim, the words of the sages, Kedarvonos, right? Umashmoros. The Kedarvonos, Darvonos are that's what you use to lead the oxen that you want them to plow in a straight line. So you use a stick,
Darvan. Okay.
right? A darvan to guide them, to keep them on the straight path. Right, so the words of Chachamim are like the goads, the sticks that are used for animals to keep them on the straight path. So the words of the Chachamim keep us on the straight path as well, right?
Okay.
And they're like the words of fixed nails or pegs. They're pegs that they're fixed. Mishmoros are like pegs that you put in the wall the tuas that are fixed into the wall, that are thrust into the wall. So they're also there, and that's the way we read this pasuk. Chai olam not ta b'sochenu. It's not ta b'sochenu. The meaning the words of Torah, that they're fixed. They should be fixed into us, right? In a way that will be able to reach and achieve Chai Olam, the eternal life, and that is Divrei Chachamim. That's the words of Torah Shabbat.
Okay.
Okay.
Yud Aleph.
Yeah.
Hakore b'Torah tzarich la'achos the Sefer Torah b'shas bracha. The person who is reading the Sefer Torah has to look into the Sefer Torah at the time he's making the bracha.
He has to hold. He has to hold it. We've already learned about.
Just to hold. Okay,
this
grab onto.
This is the time of the kriya. At the time of the bracha, what you do at the time of the bracha, that was in I think Vav. I think Vav that explained what you're supposed to do with when you're reading from making the bracha on the Torah, right?
This says b'shas bracha. This is talking about b'shas bracha. It says right here, the last words.
Right. So this is what he's supposed to do in terms of holding it. Where he's supposed to look was discussed earlier. Right. We had that was discussed in Sif. That was in in Sif Dalid, right? If you look back at Sif Dalid, right? All those who read from the Torah and then they get the Aliyah, they make a bracha beforehand and afterwards. And they should open the Sefer Torah before they make the bracha. And they should look at the pasuk. They should be, and that's what the Gabbai usually points out to you, where the pasuk is, where he's going to be starting. Right. And afterwards, he's taking a look at the pasuk where he's going to start. So they make the bracha. Right. And after the reading is taken place, you close the Sefer Torah and you make the bracha achrona. Now the Ramah adds, "U'meshafim mura bracha rishoyna yafo panavel tzad shelo hayinir ke mevorach min haTorah v'nirli shevet mepad tzad smoila." And the Ramah adds, at the time of the bracha rishoyna, you're supposed to turn your face to the side, so it shouldn't look like you're making a bracha and reading the bracha from the Sefer Torah itself. And so the Ramah, they should turn your face to the left side. Turn your face to the left side. So that's all where you're supposed to look at the time of the bracha. Now, what are you supposed to do with your hands when you're making the bracha? That's what we're learning about now. Right?
Okay.
Rabbi, I thought the other day we said you turn your face to the right side.
That Mr. Berura mentioned about the right side. There are different opinions there, right? The Mr. Berura actually in conclusion, the Mr. Berura says it's best if you just close your eyes. Forget about where you want it to turn to the right. And the right is better if you close your eyes. So
you're not supposed to read the bracha?
So if best, according to the Mr. Berura, is if you know it Baal Peh, you just close your eyes and just read it Baal Peh. If you don't know the bracha, you have to read the bracha, so that's even better. No one's going to make a mistake if you're looking from into a siddur, or if you look into the plaques or the pages a paper that they have on the bima. So if they have the brachas written there, and sometimes they have a nice little plaque, or sometimes they have a paper there, and you're reading from that, so that solves all the problems. Whether you, in that case, you're probably looking to the right. If they put a little plaque there or the paper there under the glass, if it's a glass on top of the mantle or the mappa, so you have a plaque where the brachas, they're usually in the right-hand side. The person who's reading the Sefer Torah, the Gabbai, they're on the left-hand side, and the person who's getting the Aliyah is usually on the right-hand side, and the brachas are usually placed there on the bima on the right side. So then if you're looking at the brachas from the plaque with a siddur or whatever you might have, a page, so there's no mistake that you're reading that from the Sefer Torah at all. So you have those, basically those two options, either closing your eyes and saying it palpet, or if you prefer, to say it from a siddur. And it's very, very advisable to say it from a siddur. I've seen even people, Chachamim, Zikanim, that they even, from one reason or another, they make mistakes in the brachas. So it's worthwhile
Isn't
reading
it
it
also better to read it from printing rather than saying it bal peh?
Yeah. I mean, if you can read it from something, I think it helps the kavanah if you're reading it from it. Some people know it bal peh may say that it doesn't matter to them, and it could be true. Doesn't matter to them. But
I heard a mimer that the Chafetz Chaim used to say Asher Yatzar from a siddur,
right.
even though he surely knew it bal peh.
Yeah, I remember reading that Rav Shach, one of his kabbalas for Rosh Hashanah was that he was going to bench using a birchon or a siddur. He wasn't going to bench bal peh. So even though you may know it bal peh, and certainly in earlier generations they knew all these things bal peh. They didn't have siddurim. Right? We're very fortunate for Baruch Hashem. We have siddurim. You can find all kinds of different siddurim and different nusachs, different prints, and I was in a bookstore yesterday, 2 days ago. I was in a bookstore. I had to buy a sefer. So someone in front of me online was buying a siddur. Right? So they wanted them to change the cover of the siddur, that it should be a personal cover, leather personal cover. So they took out. They must have had at least 30 different samples of different types of leather, different types of covers that you can put on there, and of course you can get your name engraved in it with all kinds of different pictures of the kaisel, of this, of that, right? And it's just amazing all the different possible choices that you could have to just put a cover on the siddur, and of course you pay for it, but if you wanted to, whatever. So Baruch Hashem, we're very fortunate. We've got Baruch Hashem a lot of gashmis at our fingertips. We just have to have the siyata d'shmaya and the seichel to use it properly.
Amen.
Okay. Well, that's our time. So I'll tell you what. Let's. So we're gonna have to start over again with. We're in.
Ramadal. Yud Aleph.
Yud Aleph. We're in Yud Aleph, right? Sure, go for the sake of right. Shas bracha. Good. Okay. So tomorrow I'll be there and we'll pick up with Yud Aleph. Okay. Everyone.
All right. Have a good day, everybody.
Okay, take care,
See you
Lord.
tomorrow.
Yep.
Be well. Thank you.